Potawatomi people was, what do you call this place? And they said, this place, our land, our home, is called Chicagoa. And he said, well, what does that mean? It's a beautiful word. What does Chicagoa mean? They said, Chicagoa means stinky onion. Super tall, wavy blue tower that is the St. Regis, Chicago. This one tops out at 1,191 feet tall. That's 363 meters tall. It has 101 floors. Its wavy shape is accentuated by 6 different shades of blue glass from Germany, except 2 floors up near the top that don't have any windows. That's called a blow-through floor. Letting wind blow through is a method used to reduce sway. Yes, all of these tall towers sway back and forth a few inches. It's in their design. It's always better to give a little than to break over time. So we learned different methods that they use to reduce that along the way. St. Regis, it's a wavy building. It has not a single piece of curved glass on the outside. What they did was they made different. And so, continuing up ahead on the left, you'll see 2 more hotels. I have been to these next 2. They're much more economical, only $300 a night, roughly. When I was getting married, we got to stay at the Suites Hotel, the one shaped like a big pointy triangle to the left. This one was designed by sailor and architect Harry Weiss. Being a sailor, Weiss loved the triangular silhouette of his favorite sailboat. So a lot of his buildings are triangles in some way, shape, or form. Behind Suites Hotel, you'll see some wavy white balconies, creating a lovely 3D cascading effect on the outside. Each one of those balconies has a unique shape. They were all precisely measured and calculated using GPS technology to maximize shade for its residents in the summer, which is only 3 weeks away now. I'm so excited about that. St. Regis, the Aqua Hotel, Aqua Tower is wavy and aquatic like the first one because it's by the same architect, Jeannie Gang, and that's her signature style. You'll get to know all these architects. They're all artists. They all have their own unique and recognizable styles. Now, remember that stinky onion I mentioned earlier? There it is, up on your right, that big, beautiful onion dome on top of the Intercontinental Hotel on Michigan Avenue. Everybody thought, blimps were going to be all the new rage of transportation of the future, but then, oh, the humanity. That horrible Hindenburg accident occurred. I've seen those photos in that video. That kind of scared everyone from riding in blimps, so no one ever actually landed a blimp up there. Guess it was not a good year for that, apparently. If you happen to be walking on Michigan Avenue by the Intercontinental Hotel, it has beautiful Middle Eastern themes on the outside and inside, and the Michael Jordan Steakhouse downstairs. Continuing up ahead down on the right, you'll see a clear glass building with an iPad-shaped roof. I wonder what store that is. The Apple store, right? Although I think they have to upgrade that roof every time a new iPhone comes out. That was in 2017 they built that. I just made that last part up. All right. Continuing up on the right is a white clock tower. That is the Wrigley building, is in Wrigley Gum and Wrigley Field. And we got some Cub fans on board. I saw somebody's shirt. Nice. The Wrigley building was built in 2 sections in the 1920s because there used to be a train line running through there. The face of that clock is 2 stories tall. Its minute hand is about as long as the wooden benches you're sitting on right now. That tower was inspired by a Spanish cathedral called La Giralda, which is in Seville, Spain. In the beginning of Chicago's history, the architects here did not really have their own styles just yet, so they were copying European styles popular at the time. So they call this the Spanish Revival style of architecture. Straight ahead of us is our second tallest building in the city, the Trump International Hotel and Tower, designed by Adrian Smith and built in 2009. This style is called contextualism because it matches and flatters its context or neighbors, often with mirrored glass windows. Its first terrace is the same height as the roof of the Wrigley, 16 floors. Its second terrace is the same height as the thin white Mather Tower across the river. And its third uppermost terrace is the same height as its next door neighbor, which we can't really see yet. You'll see some of Trump Tower's lower floors are also wavy like the waves of the river. More context. Adrian Smith, who designed this, is from Chicago. Smith also designed the current tallest building in the world, which is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, which looks similar to this, but it's got a lot more layers, and it's almost twice as tall. To your left is a dome on a tower on the Jewelers Building with corner temples. Corner temples up there, that's you might have seen those in Batman Begins, where he's standing up there with the dramatic music. The Jewelers Building originally had a car elevator so that the jewelers could just drive straight in with their car and jewels and get lifted up to the front door and not have to walk through the dark, scary parking lot where the mafia might be lurking in the shadows, ready to steal those jewels in the 20s when this was made. Back up to your right are everybody's favorite giant twin corn cob towers, Marina City, which was built in the 60s, designed by Bertrand Goldberg. His idea was to bring people to come live downtown. Back then, nobody lived downtown. There was nothing to do here, just work. So Goldberg had this idea to create a self-sustaining complex with its own laundromat, grocery stores, retail shops, bowling alley, restaurants, even a marina downstairs for its residents' boats. How nice. Also 18 floors of parking spaces, which are valet only. You can see why they do not let you drive your own car up there. There's just a thin little wire on the edge. So you might be looking at those cars parked up there and thinking to yourself, has anyone ever just driven a car into the river from up there? And the answer is yes, they have, because this is America. Yeah, once was for a movie, The Hunter with Steve McQueen, and then the other time was for a car insurance commercial. He was trying to copy it. Quite the policy on that one. Back over to your left, you'll see a modern glass tower with a Greek temple on top. This is 77 West Wacker of the neoclassical style. Neoclassical is a fusion of the new and the old together in perfect harmony. You can see the modern glass is framed by Portuguese royal white granite, making it look as if you're seeing through the building to the other side. It's a beautiful illusion. 77 was designed by a Spanish architect named, look carefully, it is not symmetrical. You can count, it's got 6 bays of windows east of the clock tower, but only 5 sections of windows on the other side. And that is because they had to destroy one section in the 20s to make space for the expansion of LaSalle Street ahead of us. Because the city was growing in the 20s, the city needed that space. I'm sure these architects were not too happy about that change. They patched it up, I can really tell. Nowadays they have inside of here the headquarters of Encyclopedia Britannica. Does anybody over 30 remember Encyclopedia Britannica? Okay, it was a favorite feature of this one is that nice little steakhouse they have downstairs called Chicago Cut. First time I went there was 5 years ago to celebrate getting this job at Shoreline Sightseeing. I've been back a few times since then. They've got really good steak. Next to it is an older building with a 3-part design and large windows. This is called First Chicago School of Architecture Style. The style came about as the architects here started style. Art Deco always has deep inset windows, vertical racing stripes, polished Indiana limestone, and repetitive geometric shapes. Birchmart also has these 8 busts in the front that look like giant Pez dispensers. Those are portraits of very important businessmen who helped the city grow years ago. The one on the end, they're all businessmen and philanthropists. The one on the end is Aaron Montgomery Ward. Sorry, that's Aaron Montgomery Ward. Very helpful philanthropist. Wealthy, he helped the city grow. He's responsible for our beautiful coastline and more. The Merchandise Mart occupies over 2 city blocks. It's got 7.5 miles or 10 kilometers of hallways inside. It's full of offices and showroom floors. And the bottom floor is open to the public. They've got restaurants and cafes and little shops inside. And it's got its own built-in train station because there's that many people that work there. Now, we are entering Wolf Point, which is the Y shape where it all started years ago with a settlement of fur trappers. The first thing they built here were 3 taverns because priorities, right? That settlement eventually grew to become the town of Chicago in the 1830s, and it has not stopped growing since then. We will make 3 passes through here so you'll get to see it from a few different angles. Straight ahead of us is another tall glass tower with parabolic arches on the top and the bottom. This one that looks like a large hot pocket. Hot pocket. I guess I'm still hungry. All right, this is River Point, and they have the arch on the bottom because that section is built right over the train tracks, and you cannot block the trains with your building. So they had to creatively go around that part, but I think it looks great that way. Kind of maybe a good thing that they had that obstacle. A few years ago, they added that red spiral sculpture underneath called Constellation by Santiago Calatrava, another famous Spanish architect. Calatrava is known for his spiral designs and lofty ambitions. And then we'll turn around, we'll continue. We're not even halfway through yet. The natural source of this part of the river is many miles north of the city, way out in the suburbs. We're not going that far. Now, up ahead of us to your right, you'll see a wide open bridge. That is the Carroll Avenue Bridge. That one's always open. It has train tracks on it. The same train are tall, big and small. Those are the bridge houses, and those are where the controls are. So those are where the bridge house operators will go in.